for example, the announcement was meant to be done at 11 a.m. local time. Now, because it's been pushed back a few hours to 7 p.m. local time, it's going to be dark here in southern Sudan. The plan of people to gather in a square has now been cancelled. People have been told for security reasons, please meet either at home or in bars and celebrate that way. But certainly we are expecting a lot of people to be celebrating tonight on throughout the next day, Tuesday, because people have waited years for this outcome. And they've waited a long time for independence, and a lot of them are finally glad that the process has come, and today will be official confirmation that come the 9th of July, South Sudan will become the world's newest nation.
And it's also, I imagine, very... the fact that the Sudanese president, Omar al-Bashir, has said he would accept this referendum is a victory for the Southerners there. But do tell us about some of the challenges that await this new nation, Haru.
They have huge challenges, not just overcoming the issue of poverty. They have huge humanitarian issues as well. Politically, officials have to set up an interim government, they have to write a new constitution, they have to set a new date for elections. Security issues as well are a big challenge. There have been clashes between soldiers from the Sudan Armed Forces. There have been a number of people killed, and not just issues between soldiers clashing. There's a constant issue of clashes between rebels from the Lord's Resistance Army of Uganda and then those who defected from the Sudan People's Liberation Army, and they continuously attack villages in nearby areas. Right now, the recent attack was in Upper Nile State. So there is concern about how this new country, this new government is going to be able to manage all this, given the mammoth task they have. They will need to rely on the international community, they'll need to rely on donor community in particular, but they are confident that despite the challenges, which they all admit they have, they're saying that if you give them time and the help they need, they hope they will build this region and become a successful country in the future.
Thank you very much, Haru Mutasa, reporting there live from Juba in southern Sudan. Well, still to come here on Al Jazeera. Caught in the crossfire, villagers from a disputed border region flee as Thai and Cambodian forces clash for a fourth day. And thousands of riot police patrol Bangladesh as the country is brought to a standstill by a nationwide strike.
As the rain pours over Johannesburg, we'll keep your spirits up.
Hello, we have this weekend's snowfall now making its way away from Texas. You can see this little area of cloud here. That's pulling its way further eastwards and northwards. You can actually follow a line of cloud from the northeastern corner down across the southern plains, and it actually pushes up to this huge white mass of cloud, which is now bringing further snow in across the Pacific Northwest and western parts of Canada. That's the next feature of wintry weather that we have, which will slide its way in across the US. Then 7 Celsius there for Denver on Monday. Snow clearing away from Texas through Oklahoma, through Arkansas. Temperatures plunge in Denver. -12 will be the top temperature here on Tuesday as our next wintry storm pushes in. Drier though, warmer there for Dallas at around 11 Celsius. Not too bad around the eastern seaboard for the time being, at least until we get into New England and into eastern parts of Canada. Again, the snow set to continue here, so further problems to come. Problems remain across southeastern parts of Brazil. Very heavy showers there, still there in place toward Rio de Janeiro. Drier than it has been, yes, but some heavy rain, particularly affecting Uruguay down towards River Plate. But I think for Buenos Aires it will stay fine and dry. Fine, dry, warm and sunny across much of Central and Southern Europe, but still very disturbed further north.
Qatar Airways, world's 5-star airline.
A popular uprising that shook the country to its core. A defiant president under siege from his people. As the protesters took charge of the streets, we look back at the events that are changing Egypt.
I will stay on the air if I can until the police come
in a special program, Al Jazeera gives you a day-by-day account from those that witnessed them firsthand. Egypt burning, at this time on Al Jazeera.
See the world from every angle and every side. Al Jazeera.
Welcome back. A reminder of our top story on Al Jazeera. Thousands of protesters are still on the streets of Cairo and other Egyptian cities calling for the end of Hosni Mubarak's reign. Meanwhile, Egyptian television has shown the president meeting members of his administration. His new cabinet has held its first full meeting since the beginning of the uprising. A hearing into the killing of former Lebanese Prime Minister Rafik Hariri has begun in the Netherlands, and highly sensitive charges to be brought by the prosecutor are expected to be revealed. They're thought to include terrorism and conspiracy charges. Barnaby Phillips is in Leidschendam near The Hague. He says, though the trial itself may be a year away, Monday's hearings give clues about what's to come.
Well, it is important because finally, slowly, I have to say, we're moving out of an investigative phase with this UN tribunal and into a judicial phase. Having said all that, let's not get carried away. The trial itself is months away, possibly more than a year away. This is a pre-trial hearing, and both the defence and the prosecution have spent the day trying to lay the groundwork, if you like, for a trial to come, clarifying the meanings of certain terms like terrorism, premeditated murder, conspiracy, trying to reach common ground on these important terms. And it is interesting because through the discussions that are going on in the courtroom, we're getting little clues, if you like, as to what the nature of the indictment will be. Of course, we have no information, no solid information, as to who will be indicted for the murder of Rafik Hariri and 22 others, back in 2005 now.
Thai and Cambodian troops have been involved in a fourth day of heavy fighting. The confrontation is happening in a disputed border area surrounding a 900-year-old mountaintop temple. Wayne Hay reports.
Living near the Thai-Cambodia border can come at a cost. In recent days, an ongoing land dispute has shattered the peace in this otherwise sleepy Thai settlement. The owner of this house told us she managed to evacuate before a Cambodian artillery shell landed at her back door. This was the scene the night before, dozens of Thai shells streaking across the sky towards Cambodia. Despite the aggression from both sides, the Thai Prime Minister called for a peaceful solution, but said his country will continue to defend itself.
When there is firing into Thai territory, it's necessary for Thailand to protect its sovereignty. We counter the attack and we return fire only at military targets.
However, Cambodian television showed footage of the ancient Preah Vihear temple in the middle of the disputed area, which they allege was damaged by shelling. In Thai territory, the soldiers remain on edge. At checkpoints, supplies are being rushed to the front line. The border villages are now largely deserted. People who have stayed behind say they're ready for more fighting. They've armed themselves and are preparing new bunkers to shelter in. Those who aren't digging in are being catered for in the relative safety of a nearby town.
The residents who have fled the fighting have come here to evacuation centres. In this one alone, there are around 9,000 people. Most of them say they're in no mood to go home anytime soon.
I will continue to stay here until the fighting stops.
Given the tension on the border, these people may be here for some time yet. Wayne Hay, Al Jazeera, Kantaralak, Thailand.
Footage has emerged of a gang of Muslim men beating to death 3 members of the Ahmadiyya sect in Indonesia. The attack has been condemned by rights groups and the government. Now, we should warn you that this report by Step Vassen contains images which some of you will find very distressing.
It is gruesome footage. Police stand by while a mob starts attacking houses belonging to Ahmadiyya followers. Then the killing starts. 3 men are stripped naked, stoned and beaten to death. The footage is too graphic to show. Police outnumbered by the crowd just stand by.
What I mostly regret is that this is being done in the name of religion. Even if it hadn't been done in the name of religion, this is too horrible to watch.
Ahmadiyya followers are accused by some in Indonesia of being defiant Muslims because they believe the sect's founder was a prophet. Mainstream Muslims believe that Muhammad was Islam's last prophet. Human rights groups accuse the government of indirectly inciting the violence after it banned Ahmadiyya's activities in 2008. This has criminalized the group and has made it the focus of violent attacks. President Yudhoyono defends the government's decision to ban Ahmadiyya's activities.
If everyone had followed our agreement, this kind of riot, this kind of violence could have been prevented.